Hello everyone, welcome back to Bodery. If you're new here, my name is Ines and I run a blog called Bodery where I love to share our journey to a slow and handmade home. One of the things I love to talk about is thrifting or charity shop shopping, and today that's exactly what we're going to talk about because I am in Jersey, which is where my in-laws live. We come here every summer for several weeks, and one of the things that I always do when I'm here is go to the charity shops. I'm also really excited to say that this video is a collaboration with Alina Ghost, who is one of my friends here on YouTube. She shares loads about her life as a mum and lots of tips about renovation and travelling and that sort of thing. I will let her say a little bit more about herself just now.
Hello, it's an absolute honour to be here collaborating with Ines. I am Alina Ghost and I want to make charity shops the new cool thing to do. I'd like to encourage more people to go. I absolutely love thrifting for things and would recommend others do it as well, and that's why I do these videos. Apart from that, I'm a mum content creator. I have a 3-year-old son and also a little puppy now, so I do lots of content around toddler mum hacks, clean with me's and things like that. So if that sounds like up your street, do feel free to come by and have a look at my channel after you've watched this video. Thanks so much for having me here and I hope that you like the videos.
Jersey is quite a well-off island. There are lots of people who work in finance here, so the charity shops are full of really good finds. There's also a really rich history here as well, so often lots of vintage and antique finds, which I obviously really love. So I've been to all of the big charity shops here on the island. There are 3 that are particularly good, huge warehouse style ones, which I will put the details of in the description because I always get questions about which ones they are. First of all, I'm going to show you some footage of me browsing the different shops and you can see some of the things that I found and put back, and then afterwards I will share what I picked up and my plans for the various things that I bought. So onto the footage. The first place I visited was the hospice shop, which I particularly love for clothes, but it also has a huge homeware section and a whole section for fabrics as well. I saw a really lovely See by Chloe shirt, which was £48, so I didn't pick it up. I was very, very close because it was so beautiful. Then a really nice pair of beige trousers and a gingham jumpsuit, which I actually wanted to pick up for my friend. This little pair of shoes was so cute, and then another little pair from Mother Care, which very cute. Here's Thomas the Tank Engine books, the originals, and then there was a whole selection of Ladybird books, including Read It Yourself ones, which I was very close to buying. I thought this little dress was very cute, and then this Laura Ashley blouse was a great find, and I'll talk more about that later. Honestly, here they have so many different kinds of clothes. They have some vintage, some new, it's wonderful. Here's some measuring cups, which I, again, left behind because I didn't need them, but I thought they were very cute. Next up, we went to Acorn, which is another huge warehouse style setup, and actually the prices here are particularly good. They had loads of art, and I'm really regretting not getting this one of the cart in the water. I thought it was beautiful. This was a really cute kids jumpsuit, and then just showing you all of the racks of clothing that they have. Again, it's great for clothing here. They also had fabrics, so here are some of the ones that I particularly liked. And then in the homeware section, they had this whole bunch of casserole dishes, but most of them were broken, unfortunately. There were loads of books as well, and I got some books which I'll show you later on. Finally, we visited the Durrell charity shop, which is usually one of my favourites, but this time I didn't find a whole lot. But again, you can see it's huge, and there is a good selection of old bed sheets. And then I found this really cute set of old Rupert annuals, which I very nearly bought, but left behind in the end. So I've got everything here sitting around me, ready to share, but honestly I can't quite remember exactly what shop I found everything in, so I'm just gonna show you it all, and yeah, I would just recommend visiting all the shops because really the good finds are spread across all 3. So first up here, I've got a little stack of books that I found across, I think, all of the shops. First up, Make Way for Ducklings by Robert McCluskey. This author has written some really beautiful books, but actually they're quite hard to find in the UK because I believe he's an American author, but the illustrations are really beautiful, kind of line drawings, and yeah, it's just a really sweet nature-led story. His most famous book is called Blueberries for Sale, which I've definitely talked about, if not here, then on Instagram, and I would also recommend that one. Really lovely books. Then I also found this one called The Yellow House. This is not a book that I'd ever heard of, but I had a little flick through and it was a really sweet story with lovely illustrations, as you can see. So yeah, I always try and pick up really special books at the charity shop. I've actually got quite a high bar for buying books these days because we can get so much at the library, but if I spot one that's more unusual and I think would be less likely to be found in a library, then I will often pick it up. And I think this one was £1. I think this one was only 50p, so bargain. In terms of books for me, I found a couple. So this one, which I hope you can see the detail on the cover up close, is lovely gold foil detail, which is a little bit old, but that's okay. This is the Reader's Digest Encyclopedia of Garden Plants and Flowers, and essentially it's got a guide on every kind of garden plant or flower. Partly I bought this just because it was really beautiful. The cover is lovely and it would look really nice on a shelf. And I think Reader's Digest books like these are often really good quality. I've got their sewing one, which is just amazing. So yeah, I was really happy to find that. Oh, and I don't actually know how much that was, but I don't think it was much, no more than £2. Then I also found this book about Margot Fonteyn. Margot Fonteyn was a ballet dancer, beautiful ballet dancer. I did a lot of ballet growing up and still absolutely love it as like an art form. And partly, again, I bought this because if I take the cover off, it's this gorgeous rusty red colour with gold foil down the spine, but it's also a book that I will look at and enjoy because I thought Margot Fonteyn was such a beautiful ballet dancer and elegant woman and all sorts like that. My daughter is actually called Margot partly in honour of Margot Fonteyn, so that felt like a really special thing to pick up, and that was £3. And I've actually just found a few more children's books hiding in the bottom of the bag. Firstly, Thomas the Tank Engine. They actually had the whole set of these original Thomas the Tank Engine books. I didn't get the whole set just because of what I said earlier about not wanting to buy hundreds of books anymore, but I did want to pick up the original. I shared this on Instagram though, and some people said that the language in these books is maybe not what we would now consider appropriate for children. So I'll have a pre-read of this. I didn't actually have a close look when I was in the shop, so I'm not totally sure what they're referring to, but a heads up if you ever see these that you might just want to pre-read them first. They also had lots of these vintage ladybird books. I just picked up my favourite, which was this one with the dog on the front, because my youngest is totally obsessed with dogs. So this was sort of for him. It's about a little boy and his dog, so very cute. And then finally, The Wind in the Willows, because my eldest loves the story of The Wind in the Willows. We've read a few different retellings of it now for children, and it felt nice to actually own one because all the ones we've had have been from the library. I suppose that's the nice thing about the library, is that you can try out books and see how much they like them, and then if they do really love them, then you can buy your own copy, ideally secondhand. So there you go. I can't actually remember how much all of these were, but I think they were no more than 50p, possibly even less. So next up we have clothes. So I only bought one thing for me actually this year, which was this checked shirt, which is a little bit creased, so sorry about that. I like this. It was brand new with tags. The tag said it was originally £50 and I got it for £4, so it was a bargain. It's a brand called Nobody's Child, which is a really nice sustainable brand, and it's made of Eco-Vero, which is like a sustainably made viscose. So it's lovely and soft and cooling. Slightly big for me, which means it's nice and oversized, and I think I will wear this a lot right into the autumn. Then I got two things for the children. So first was this little Laura Ashley blouse, which I just think is amazing. I was so happy to find this, and my daughter really likes it, which these days is not a given. This is a Laura Ashley. It was £5, so a little bit more expensive than you might sometimes pay in a charity shop, but I think worth it for such a beautiful vintage blouse. And then I also got this tiny one, which is just beautiful and was only £1.50, again vintage. If you don't know, I'm having another baby. By the time this video goes out, I should have done a little pregnancy announcement and update. So yeah, if that's news to you, then go and have a little look at that other video, because that will give you some more information on how things are going. I don't actually know if I'm expecting a girl yet. So I bought this in the hope of a girl, and if we're not having a girl, then I can give this away to a friend. But I just couldn't pass it up because it's so cute. Then moving on to homeware, I only picked up a few things this time. I had a really, again, like for books, high bar, because in the past sometimes I've really overbought. So I tried to pare back to things that I absolutely loved. First off was this vintage French enamel canister, which was only £2.50, which I really thought was a bargain. I'm not sure yet what I'll put in this. Maybe candles, maybe it will just be decorative. Either way, I'm really pleased with it. I also found another pudding bowl. I can't get enough of vintage pudding bowls, and they're always useful, and I broke one recently. So this one was only £1, so I picked it up straight away because definitely useful. Then I also got this basket, which I was very, very pleased with it because it's beautiful and it's in really good condition, and it was only £5, which is you know, a good price for a basket. If you buy a new basket these days, it can be a lot of money. It opens up like this, so possibly was previously a picnic basket, but it will definitely become some kind of storage for me, possibly sewing or kind of, yeah, like hand sewing, embroidery materials or knitting things that I like to keep in the lounge for projects that I'm working on while I watch TV and stuff. But yeah, we'll see what it becomes. I've also realised as I open this that there's 2 more bits of clothing in here, so I will just talk through those. These are 2 shirts. This one was £4. It's a large men's shirt, and the idea for this was that I might turn this into something for myself. I do lots of shirt upcycling for children. As you know, there's lots of ideas that I have on my channel about how you can turn old men's shirts into baby clothing, but I recently had my colours done, like my what colours suit me, and this apparently is one of my colours. So when I saw it, I thought it might be really fun to try and do an upcycling project to turn this into something for myself. So watch this space, because it will probably appear on YouTube if I do it. Then I also got this one because it's huge and it's linen, which are 2 things I always look for in charity shop shirts, because again, I love to transform them into baby clothes. So yeah, seeing this linen in such a lovely colour and so large to give me lots of room to work with was a no-brainer. This was again £4. £4 is kind of a little bit more than I would like to pay for a shirt, but given it was such a good one and the other one was so good as well, I thought it was worth it. And then finally this year I was on the hunt for, well, mostly frames to be honest, but also just art in general that might look nice around our home. I've been really trying to add a few more bits of art in, especially in the lounge, where currently we've only got 2 big pieces. I wanted like a few smaller pieces. So the first one I found was this oil canvas. I mostly bought this for the frame because I love how it's got the green and the gold together. But actually the picture is quite sweet. It's not like the world's best art, but it's a very sweet picture and the colours are quite nice. So I've not yet decided on whether to keep this picture in the frame or whether to replace it with something else. Again, watch this space. But this was only £5, which was a really good price for that. I also got this pair of frames. I'm sorry if you can't fully see them. Yeah, this pair of frames I thought was really nice. The picture that's in there at the moment is, again, not terrible. I don't love the yellow in this one, but it certainly could be worse. But I was mostly buying these thinking that I could replace the pictures in them with other prints from online or things that I make myself. So yeah, it's nice to have a pair, and I also love the green colour of the mats underneath. I think that's really nice and adds a different touch compared to just always having white mats. They were £3 each as well, so again, quite a good price. And then finally is this huge piece just behind me. I don't know if you can see it. I love the decorative detail around the frame, and also the fact that it's just like a raw wood rather than stained or painted or gilt. So yeah, very happy with that. And that was £8. I will definitely change the picture in that frame because I'm not particularly a fan of it, so I need to decide what I'm going to put in that, and I'm looking forward to choosing. If you enjoyed this video, then you will definitely love this one about a recent trip I did to a charity shop department store. You can also check out my thrifting playlist on my channel, which has loads of videos, particularly old ones about shopping these same charity shops in Jersey, so you can see some of the things that I've bought in previous years. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye!